Two WNBA player props here on PrizePicks for Wednesday, September 25th. Before we get started, you guys take a look in the description below of this video. Hop into the premium Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. It is where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. We have other cappers in there as well. Overall, you guys, it's a super positive community. Everyone in there just trying to help each other cash. I also want to mention I'm not a gambling expert. This is not financial advice. Simply just the plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully giving you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. But let's get into it. 2-game WNBA playoff slate here, Wednesday, September 25th. I got 2 player props that I'm targeting, 1 prop from each game. But before I get into it, I will mention this at the end of the video. But I want to talk about Daily Grind Fantasy again, you guys. Research betting tool, DFS optimizer, DFS middling fantasy scores, AI slip generator, numerous tools here on Daily Grind Fantasy. Link in the description below. Using promo code TUFF, you get 25% off your first month. And again, they take all the data, all the lines from all the major sports books, you guys, put them on one optimizer and give you the top plays on the board. And again, this updates in real time. But I'll mention this again at the end of the video. Link in the description, promo code TUFF, 25% off your first month. But let's get into it. The first play that I'm targeting for this video is going to be Aiyah Boston for 32.5 fantasy score. We look at this matchup, Fever, Connecticut. This is obviously a winner go home game for the Fever. 6.5 point spread. 162.5 over under, and again, this is a home game for Connecticut. But I'm expecting this game to remain close. I thought the game 1 was close through, I would say, like 2.5 quarters, and then kind of Connecticut took over. But like I said, a winner go home game for Indiana. I'm expecting starters to play a ton of minutes. And Aiyah Boston, she played 33 minutes in game 1, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. And in that one, I think she finished with 38.7 fantasy points, so obviously would clear the over on this 32.5 line. And we look at Aiyah Boston, right? We look at her line, her games this season. Let's just reset this. So she's over in 3 straight games versus Connecticut, and had some games with like not even that many minutes. 33 minutes, she had 41.9 fantasy, 37.2 in 38 minutes, and then 32.7 minutes, she had 38.7. And again, this is Outlier. There's also another link in the description. Get a 7-day free trial using Outlier. But nonetheless, over in 3 straight versus Connecticut, we go to her PRA, which on Outlier you can see it's an elite matchup for centers. Connecticut allowing the 3rd most points, 2nd most rebounds, and most assists to the center position. I think, there's not one specific way you can beat Connecticut, but I think the center position has been able to be very productive against the Connecticut Sun so far this season. But going back to Aiyah Boston's fantasy score line, like, this is a pretty low line in my opinion. We look at 2024 in games where I think her floor for minutes is going to be tonight. I mean, I think 33 minutes would be the floor. 13 of 17 games, she's cleared this line, averaging 41.25 fantasy points over those 17 games. 41.25. So we're talking about, Aiyah Boston that has a strong hit rate against Connecticut. Really, I think the weakest position defensively that Connecticut's on present is to the center position. And then we're talking about a 13 of 17, 76% hit rate, with a player averaging 41.25 over those 17 games. So it's a strong spot. Not trying to overthink this one here. In a winner go home game, I think if she stays out of foul trouble, she should even play. Like, let's just even put her at like 36 minutes. All right, she's over in 5 of 6, averaging 43.7 fantasy points, which is significantly over this 32.5 fantasy score line. So Aiyah Boston over 32.5 fantasy score is going to be the first play. The second play here is going to be Kahleah Copper over 25.5 fantasy. I think this is a buy low. We've honestly seen this line at 36 plus fantasy earlier this season, so at 25.5 seems like value in a winner go home game for her. This game is a 9.5 point spread, so pretty big spread for what I was thinking for a playoff game. But we saw game 1 go absolutely crazy, 95 to 102 total. Kahleah Copper in that one shot 6 for 15, did not shoot the ball well, and was in foul trouble as well. 5 personal fouls, only played 33 minutes. But this is such a low line for Kahleah Copper. In game 1, she did finish with 29.3, which is over this line here of 25.5. But we look at Kahleah Copper's home versus away splits, just elite here for this matchup. This is an away game for her. She averaged 22.5. She averaged more points, more rebounds, and significantly more field goal attempts on the road compared to at home. Significantly more, like 22.5 points per game on the road compared to 19.8 at home. And then we look at Kahleah Copper's kind of I don't want to say hit rate, but her hit rate so far this season, right? Let's just break this down. So this season, away games with 31 minutes, 11 to 14. She's over averaging 31.49 fantasy points. 31.49. Let's just do not away games. 19 of 24, right? Averaging 32.86 fantasy points. 79% hit rate on this line. She plays 31 minutes this season, right? This is a must-win game for the Phoenix Mercury. Without foul trouble, I can see, she's played games of 36 plus minutes. Let's just even filter this to when she plays, high minutes, 34 plus minutes, 34.19 fantasy point average, 80% hit rate over an 8 of 10. We also know that the Minnesota Lynx is a great matchup for forwards, allowing the second most points, the fourth most blocks, the second most steals, third most assists, and the most rebounds to the forward position. And that's kind of how Cleo Hopper plays in this offense, more so like a wing. She's like a 3, like a small forward, with Diana Taurasi and Cloud as the guards. But I think it's just a strong matchup, and I think at 25.5 is an absolute buy low for her. Even if we reset this and we look at her head-to-head, she had these 2 rough games against Minnesota earlier this season, but she had a 52.2 fantasy point game back in June of this season versus the Minnesota Lynx. And if we kind of look at that one, it was her second best game of the year. 34 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 4 turnovers. She shot the ball 23 times, right? I mean, I think in a game where this is a must-win, she shot the ball 16 times. I think we can see 17-plus shots. And when she sees 17-plus shots, you can see the hit rate. I think she's like, this is an elite hit rate, right? This is 17-plus shots here. You can see the fantasy score line when she sees that type of shooting volume. So I like Cleo Hopper over 25.5 fantasy. Let's talk about daily grind fantasy real quick. Again, this is the NFL board. If you filter this to like any play on the PrizePicks board, like this esports prop, League of Legends Dasher over 11, 58.53 odds to hit, right? This just shows the type of discrepancies that are on the board across the board. Daily grind is on underdog, parlay play, better picks, sleeper as well. Like if you're on sleeper, you guys, there's value here. There's just value across the board every single day, every single minute, on the sports books, and daily grind helps you capitalize on that. So link in the description, promo code TUFF, 25% off your first month. But here are the 2 plays for this video: WNBA playoffs, Wednesday, September 25th. Please drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.